After 60, desire doesn't fade, it refines. What once was loud becomes quiet, but deeper. Older men don't stop fantasizing, they just fantasize differently. So what do they really imagine doing to the women they love? I'm Vernon, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 things that men over 60 fantasize about doing with the woman they love. And trust me, it's not about grand gestures or fleeting moments. It's about connection, intimacy, and experiences that transcend the physical. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video on love, relationships, and everything in between. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's uncover what these deep desires reveal about mature love and why they might just be the secret to a passionate relationship that lasts. Number 1. Creating sacred rituals of connection. I will tell you about my neighbor, Francesco, a retired Italian literature professor. Every morning for the past 15 years, he has performed what he calls his sacred ritual for his wife Maria. It's not what you might think. Francesco rises at dawn, not for exercise or solitude, but to prepare Maria's morning coffee in a specific way, grinding the beans she loves, heating the milk to exactly the temperature that makes her smile, and placing a single fresh flower beside her cup. When I asked him why, his eyes grew misty. "Vernon, this is my fantasy made real, to be the gentle constant in her changing world." This is what I've discovered about men over 60. We fantasize about becoming the creators of small, sacred moments. Unlike the grand gestures of our youth, we dream of consistency, of being the reliable source of joy in our beloved's daily life. The true mark of love is not the grand gesture, but the daily choice to cherish. Marcus Aurelius. This perfectly captures what Francesco embodies in his daily actions. The true essence of love isn't found in grand romantic gestures or extravagant displays. It's in the daily choice to cherish, in small, thoughtful acts that weave the fabric of connection over time. Francesco's ritual isn't just about making coffee. It's about creating a moment of care, of consistency, and of love that Maria can count on every single day. This is the quiet, powerful form of love that many men over 60 aspire to. A love that isn't fleeting, but grounded in everyday acts of devotion. Research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that couples who maintain daily rituals of connection, even ones as simple as Francesco's morning coffee, experience 60% less relationship stress and report feeling more emotionally secure. For men in their later years, the fantasy isn't about sweeping someone off their feet. It's about being the steady ground beneath them. We dream of creating traditions that don't just exist for special occasions, but become part of daily life. Small, intentional acts of love that establish rhythm and routine, the kind of rituals that say, "You matter to me every single day." To make this real, it's about the little things. Starting every morning with a warm gesture like Francesco's coffee ritual, or ending the day with a quiet moment together where no words are needed. It's setting aside time for a shared hobby, whether it's reading, cooking, or walking in the park. It's about creating consistency in the way you show up. For example, it could be preparing dinner every Wednesday night, knowing how she likes her vegetables, or always holding hands during evening walks.
These actions become the foundation of emotional security, and over time, they create a sacred rhythm, one where both partners feel valued, loved, and anchored. What small, consistent ritual could you create that would speak to your partner's heart every day? Sometimes the most profound love is found in the simplest gestures. But this desire for creating sacred rituals is just the beginning of understanding the mature masculine heart. Let's explore more of these desires together.
Number 2. Becoming her sanctuary of understanding. There's something transformative that happens to a man's soul when he reaches his 60s. Over time, life has taught him that the world can be harsh, unpredictable, and at times unkind. The desire to conquer the world fades, and in its place, his deepest fantasy becomes not about success or domination, but about creating refuge from it. I think of my dear friend William, a former corporate lawyer who spent decades navigating boardrooms filled with conflict. He's now 64, and when we sat down over coffee last month, he shared his greatest dream, to be what he calls Margaret's safe harbor. When his wife comes home frustrated from her volunteer work or anxious about their grandchildren, William's fantasy isn't to solve the problems or provide grand solutions. His fantasy is to be there, to listen deeply, to understand her fully, and to offer her a space where she can express herself freely without the fear of being judged, fixed, or minimized. "I spent 40 years trying to win arguments," William confided, a soft laugh escaping his lips. "Now, I just want to win her trust. I want her to know that no matter what she shares with me, I'll still see her as the most wonderful woman in the world." What William is describing is the core of what renowned psychologist Dr. John Gottman calls emotional attunement. The ability to be fully present with another person's emotional experience without the need to interject, fix, or lead. His research with couples over 60 shows that men who master this skill are 70% more likely to create relationships that thrive in their later years. For many men over 60, the fantasy isn't about being right or being strong in the traditional sense. It's about being wise enough to understand that sometimes the most powerful thing a man can do is simply witness his beloved's inner world, accepting it, embracing it, and offering her the safe space to feel without judgment. True emotional intimacy doesn't require fixing the issues. It's about creating an environment where she can simply be herself. This is the essence of becoming her sanctuary, not an idealized place where everything is perfect, but a real space where love is nurtured through understanding, patience, and trust. The masculine fantasy after 60 isn't about being right or being strong in the traditional sense. It's about being wise enough to know that sometimes the most powerful thing a man can do is simply witness his beloved's inner world without trying to change it, fix it, or minimize it. We fantasize about being the one person she can be completely authentic with. Her fears, her hopes, her midnight worries, her silly dreams. This isn't about being passive. It's about being profoundly active in the art of understanding. Have you ever experienced a moment where simply being listened to made all the difference? How do you create that sense of safety and understanding in your own relationships? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your insights might just help someone else understand the power of emotional attunement. This desire to understand connects beautifully with our next discovery about something in older men's hearts. Number 3. The art of rediscovering her dreams. We've talked about creating sacred rituals and becoming a sanctuary of understanding. And you might notice these aren't the fantasies we typically associate with masculine desire. But this is precisely the point. Mature love transforms us in ways that youth cannot imagine. For decades, I built bridges, literally, spanning rivers and valleys. But my deepest fantasy now is to build a different kind of bridge, one that connects my wife Ingrid to the dreams she set aside during our child-rearing years. My wife always wanted to paint landscapes, but life got in the way. Now, I dream about surprising her with an art studio in our garage. I fantasize about seeing her face light up when she realizes I've been paying attention to what makes her soul sing. This is what I've learned about men over 60. We fantasize about being dream archaeologists, carefully excavating the buried aspirations of the women we love. We've lived long enough to understand that unfulfilled dreams don't simply fade away. They don't vanish with time. Instead, they quietly wait, sometimes for decades, hidden beneath the surface, waiting for someone who cares enough to listen, to remember, and to help unearth them. As we age, we realize the power of acknowledging the past, especially the dreams that were pushed aside or forgotten amidst life's demands. For many men, the fantasy isn't to save or rescue, but to rediscover what was once lost. It's the act of reaching into the heart of the woman we love and saying, "Tell me your deepest desires, the ones you tucked away, and let's bring them back to life." A fascinating study from the Stanford Center on Longevity found that couples where partners actively support each other's deferred dreams after age 60 report 45% higher life satisfaction and significantly better mental health outcomes. We don't just fantasize about rediscovering her dreams. We dream about being the catalyst that makes them possible. Whether it's that cooking class she mentioned 20 years ago, the garden she always wanted to grow, or the book she said she'd write someday, mature men fantasize about being the one who says, "Why not now? Why not together?" Number 4. Building bridges to her inner world. Not the loneliness of being alone, but the deeper isolation of feeling unknown, even in a long partnership, in the women's heart. As men mature, we begin to realize that true connection with a woman goes far beyond shared experiences or simple physical attraction. It's about building a bridge to her inner world, a place where her thoughts, feelings, and desires reside, often hidden behind layers of protection built by years of experience, pain, and growth. For many men over 60, the fantasy isn't just about getting to know her on the surface. It's about gently unlocking the layers she's carefully crafted over the years and offering her a space where she can truly be herself, without fear of judgment, rejection, or misunderstanding. This speaks to the deeper truth that for men in their later years, the desire to build a bridge to her inner world becomes one of their most powerful motivations. It's not about solving her problems, offering advice, or providing immediate solutions. It's about showing up with empathy, patience, and understanding so she can feel safe enough to share her most intimate thoughts, the ones that she's kept locked away for fear of burdening others or being misunderstood.
Men over 60 intuitively understand this, and one of our deepest fantasies is to become the bridge that connects us to her inner world, not as invaders, but as invited guests who've earned the right to witness her most authentic self. This aligns with research from Dr. Esther Perel, who found that couples who maintain curiosity about each other after decades together experience what she calls sustained intimacy, a rare and precious thing in long relationships. Our fantasy isn't to know everything about her. It's to remain forever curious, forever discovering new depths in this woman we've chosen to love. We dream of conversations that surprise us, of learning something new about her perspective, of being trusted with thoughts she's never shared with anyone else. To truly build a bridge to her inner world, it's important to stay curious, not complacent. Every day offers a new opportunity to learn something deeper about her, whether it's a small detail about her childhood or a personal belief she's never shared before. Ask open-ended questions that invite her to share her thoughts freely and listen without judgment or interruption, allowing her to reveal her world at her own pace. The goal isn't to uncover everything at once, but to create a safe space where she feels comfortable expressing herself, knowing that her inner world is a place of mutual respect and admiration. Be present in the quiet moments too. Often, the most intimate connections are made not in grand conversations, but in the simple act of being there, letting her know that you're genuinely interested in every part of her, even the unspoken. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about your partner that deepened your connection? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like the video. It helps others discover this meaningful message too. When we've explored these desires, they naturally bring us to the most final profound fantasy of all, one that ties everything together, a longing that surpasses all others.
Number 5. The fantasy of growing old gracefully together. As I reach the final truth I want to share with you today, I think of something the poet Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act, just once, with beauty and courage. For men over 60, aging can often feel like one of those dragons, the changes in our body, the slowing energy, the increasing awareness of our mortality. It's easy to be intimidated by these shifts, but at the same time, there's a deep fantasy that persists, the desire to transform this dragon into something beautiful and meaningful. Our greatest wish is to face these changes not alone, but with someone we love, and in doing so, to prove that love can actually become more beautiful with time, not less. I think of my dear friend Alessandro, an Italian chef who closed his restaurant at 65. Over a glass of wine, he shared with me his most intimate dream. Vernon, I fantasize about growing old with Sophia in a way that proves love only deepens. I want us to be the couple that younger people look at and think, that's what I want. That grace, that tenderness, that way of moving through the world together. This fantasy isn't about denying the reality of aging, the wrinkles, the health struggles, the changes in appearance. It's about facing them together, with such love, mutual respect, and gentle care that the process of growing old feels less like a burden and more like a dance. We dream of being the kind of couple that others look up to, not for our perfection, but for the way we navigate the ups and downs of life side by side with grace and tenderness. It's the kind of love that shows the world that even as the years pass, the bond between two people can remain just as strong, just as beautiful, if not more so, than it ever was. A longitudinal study by the MacArthur Foundation Research Network on Successful Aging found that couples who approach aging as a shared adventure rather than individual battles experience significantly better physical health, mental well-being, and relationship satisfaction. Walt Disney once said, "Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional." We fantasize about being the one who notices when she needs help with a jar, but asks in a way that preserves her dignity. We dream of being the man who finds her more beautiful at 70 than at 30, not despite the changes, but because of what those changes represent. A life lived, wisdom earned, love deepened. When we reach the end of our time together today, I want you to understand something profound. The fantasies I've shared aren't just dreams, they're invitations. We've explored 5 deep truths about what men over 60 truly fantasize about doing for the women they love. Creating sacred rituals of daily connection, becoming a sanctuary of understanding, rediscovering and nurturing her dreams, building bridges to her inner world, and growing old together with grace and beauty. Notice what these fantasies have in common. They're all about giving, not taking. They're about becoming more, not demanding more. They're about love as service, love as devotion, love as the daily choice to cherish another human being completely. The ancient philosopher Khalil Gibran wrote, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep." After 60, we understand that love doesn't beckon us toward passion alone, but toward wisdom, toward service, toward becoming the best version of ourselves for another person. Take a moment to like the video and share it with others who might resonate with these ideas. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Let's continue exploring the power of love and growth together. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video.